Curse of the Pharaohs. In the heart of the scorching Egyptian desert, beneath the unforgiving sun, lies a tale that has haunted the dreams of archaeologists and treasure hunters for centuries: the Curse of the Pharaohs. The story begins in the early 20th century when a British archaeologist named Howard Carter embarked on an ambitious expedition to uncover the long-lost tomb of Tutankhamun, the Boy King. After years of tireless excavation and anticipation, Carter's team finally uncovered the entrance to the tomb in 1922. As the tomb's ancient seal was broken, the world eagerly awaited the treasures that lay within. But little did they know that a sinister force had been awakened. The first signs of the curse emerged when Lord Carnarvon, the financial backer of the expedition, fell gravely ill shortly after the tomb's discovery. Within a few weeks, he succumbed to a mysterious and rapidly spreading infection, leaving the world to speculate about the curse's existence. Rumors began to circulate, suggesting that the curse was real, and it sought vengeance on anyone who dared to disturb the resting place of the pharaohs. But it wasn't just Lord Carnarvon who suffered. Several members of the excavation team experienced a series of unfortunate events. Some met untimely deaths, while others suffered from mysterious ailments. Newspapers across the globe fueled the hysteria, sensationalizing the alleged curse and its terrifying consequences. Perhaps the most chilling incident occurred when an Egyptian noblewoman, Lady Evelyn Herbert, who had been present at the tomb's opening, faced her own brush with the curse. Her family was struck by a string of tragedies, including the death of her father, Lord Carnarvon, and her stepbrother's mysterious demise. As the curse continued to claim lives and sow fear, many believed that the only way to break the curse was to return all the stolen treasures to the tomb and seal it once more. However, this was easier said than done, as many of the artifacts had already been scattered across the globe. Over time, the hysteria surrounding the curse of the pharaohs waned, and rational explanations for the deaths emerged. Medical science attributed Lord Carnarvon's death to a mosquito bite that became infected, while others were victims of the era's limited medical knowledge and the harsh conditions of the excavation site. Yet the legend of the curse endures, a chilling reminder of the power and mystery that still surrounds the ancient world of Egypt. Whether it was a supernatural force or mere coincidence, the curse of the pharaohs serves as a cautionary tale to those who dare to disturb the sanctity of the tombs and temples hidden beneath the desert sands. A tale that reminds us that some secrets are best left undisturbed. Eerie shadows across the land. Once, in a small, remote village nestled deep within a dense, ancient forest, there lived a legend that had plagued the villagers for generations. They spoke of a sinister entity known only as the Shadowed One. It was said that the Shadowed One emerged during the darkest of nights, when the moon was but a mere sliver in the sky, casting eerie shadows across the land. The villagers lived in constant fear of the Shadowed One, for its malevolent presence brought with it unspeakable horrors. On the nights when it appeared, the wind would howl like a mournful spirit, and the trees seemed to reach out with gnarled skeletal branches, as if trying to warn the villagers of impending doom. The first victim to encounter the Shadowed One was an old woman named Eliza. She had ventured out one moonless night to fetch firewood from the nearby woods. As she made her way deeper into the forest, the darkness closed in around her, and she felt an icy chill creep down her spine. Suddenly, a sinister whisper filled the air, and a pair of glowing, blood-red eyes materialized before her. Frozen in terror, Eliza watched as a shadowy figure with elongated, clawed fingers reached out and dragged her into the abyss of the forest, leaving nothing but her chilling scream echoing through the trees. The village was paralyzed with fear, and rumors of the Shadowed One's malevolence spread like wildfire. The villagers barricaded themselves in their homes each night, praying that they would not be the next to fall victim to this malevolent force. As the years passed, the Shadowed One continued its reign of terror, claiming more victims, leaving behind only the haunting memories of their last terrified moments. The village had grown desolate, its once thriving community reduced to a ghost town, and no one dared to enter the accursed forest. One fateful night, a brave and foolish adventurer named Victor arrived in the village. eager to prove his mettle. Ignoring the dire warnings of the few remaining villagers, he ventured into the forest armed with a lantern and a sword. The darkness was absolute, and the silence was deafening as he made his way deeper into the heart of the forest. Suddenly, the lantern flickered, and the shadows around him seemed to come alive. The whispering voices grew louder, and the ground beneath his feet trembled. Victor knew he had ventured too far, but it was too late to turn back. The ominous presence of the Shadowed One surrounded him. As the blood-red eyes materialized before him, Victor raised his sword, determined to face his fate with courage. The Shadowed One, a grotesque, formless mass of darkness, lunged at him with a deafening roar. Victor's sword pierced the heart of the creature, causing it to shriek in agony before dissipating into a cloud of darkness. Victor emerged from the forest, battered and bruised, but triumphant. The villagers, astonished by his courage, hailed him as a hero. The legend of the Shadowed One was finally put to rest, and the forest gradually began to regain its tranquility. But Victor carried with him the memories of that terrifying night, forever haunted by the malevolent entity that had terrorized the village for generations. The villagers had their peace, but at a terrible cost, and the legend of the Shadowed One would continue to send shivers down the spines of those who dared to speak its name. The Whispering Shadows. In the quiet, isolated town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the dense, eerie woods, a chilling secret had long been buried beneath layers of superstition and fear. It was a place where the sun rarely penetrated the thick canopy of ancient trees, casting long, unsettling shadows even in broad daylight. But it was during the inky blackness of night that the true horrors of Ravenswood came alive. The townspeople knew never to venture into the woods after dark, for those who did were never seen again. Legends spoke of a malevolent force that dwelled among the gnarled trees, a force so ancient and so sinister that it hungered for the souls of the living. Yet these tales remained mere whispers, dismissed as nothing more than old wives' tales meant to keep curious souls at bay. One fateful evening, Sarah, a young woman with a thirst for adventure and a burning curiosity, decided to challenge the town's superstitions. Armed with a dim flashlight and guided by the faint echoes of a haunting melody, she ventured deep into the heart of the woods. As the trees closed in around her, the darkness became suffocating, and the chilling silence weighed on her like a physical presence. As Sarah ventured further into the heart of the forest, she stumbled upon an ancient, dilapidated cabin hidden beneath a shroud of tangled vines. Its windows were shattered, and the door creaked open, as if inviting her inside. Against her better judgment, she entered the cabin, the air inside thick with the stench of decay and despair. Within the cabin's dimly lit interior, she discovered a diary, its pages filled with frantic scribblings and ramblings of a tormented soul. The author wrote of voices in the night, shadows that whispered malevolent secrets, and an insatiable hunger that gnawed at their very essence. The final entry, dated decades ago, pleaded for salvation from the relentless torment. Just as Sarah finished reading, a bone-chilling wind howled through the cabin, extinguishing her flashlight and plunging her into darkness. She felt a presence, unseen hands brushing against her skin, icy fingers tracing her spine. Whispers filled the air, unintelligible at first, but then growing clearer and more malevolent. As Sarah tried to escape the cabin, she realized that the very walls themselves were closing in on her. Panic set in as she struggled to breathe, her heart pounding in her chest. The shadows danced, mocking her fear, their sinister laughter ringing in her ears. In her desperation, Sarah managed to break free from the cabin's grasp, stumbling out into the night. But the woods had changed. The trees seemed to leer at her, their twisted branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The haunting melody grew louder, echoing through the forest, as the whispering shadows pursued her relentlessly. Through the relentless pursuit of the shadows and the malevolent force that controlled them, Sarah's sanity unraveled. She was forced to confront the terrible truth of Ravenswood. The woods were a portal to an ancient eldritch realm where darkness and despair reigned supreme. As the first light of dawn broke through the trees, Sarah's trembling form was discovered by the townspeople, but she was never the same. Her eyes held a vacant, haunted look, and she spoke in a voice tainted by the malevolent whispers of the shadows. Ravenswood's secrets remained buried, but the legend of the whispering shadows grew stronger, ensuring that no one would ever venture into those sinister woods again. And as the sun set, casting long, unsettling shadows once more, the ancient force of Ravenswood waited, hungry for the next soul to dare to defy its darkness.